the foundational purpose of this call is to be able to instill within you the opportunity or the importance of creating SOPs, standard operating procedures, so that we can be consistent. That you're going to see that in the slides, that is the most important aspect of creating raving fans, is to be consistent. Imagine for a moment if you went inside of an In-N-Out, if you guys are familiar with that franchise, and the burger was different, right? We expect from these franchises that we attend, as far as restaurants are concerned, as an example, to be consistent. And that's what creates people that want to continue to come back, because they know that they can rely on a specific level of quality. Now, you might not feel, and I would agree with you, that McDonald's is a quality restaurant, but they're consistent, right? So if I go there, I know I'm going to get some type of weird meat that they call a hamburger, and it's going to taste the same no matter where I go, for the most part in the United States, right? I think their recipes change in different parts of the country, or different countries, but nevertheless, you get my point. And so it's about creating consistency more so than it is exactly what you're doing. And so if you work in the high-end market, then the level of service, the level of product that you're going to be offering is going to be a little bit different than someone that's selling property for $200,000 per home. Does that make any sense? And so as we go through as we go through this masterclass, I want you guys to think about what your marketplace is, what your price point is, and then what the level of expectation that a client may have working or buying a budget of home that they're trying to buy. Does that make sense? Like, I'm looking at buying a new home, right? I'm moving to a different city, and I went to this builder, or I went to this community that had beautiful views, absolutely stunning views. And for whatever reason, the person that bought this community, or bought the land to be able to develop this community, was D.R. Horton. And those of you guys know D.R. Horton, they're a national builder, and they're building multi-million-dollar houses. And it is so interesting to me of how it is, like, the product does not match the area or the views that they're trying to sell, right? And it's interesting because, like, I went inside the primary bedroom, and there was this massive wall and two little windows on either side. But if you had blown that wall out and made it a big window, you would see this gorgeous view of the whole city. And I asked them, why wouldn't you guys put a view or a big window there? They're like, oh, we just stamp these out. Doesn't matter where the home is on the lot. So again, I apologize for going a little bit of a tangent, but the point I'm trying to make is that consistency is important, but you also have to be consistent congruent with the market that you're serving. Okay. Hopefully that transcribed, or that made sense. Okay, so here we go, you guys. We're gonna talk about being a raving fan here. Let's get right into it. Hopefully you guys can see. So again, these are about SOPs about creating raving fans, so we can create lifetime clients that turn into lifetime referrals. Now, I know that some of you guys crush it in this space, and so please feel free to, like, unmute yourself and say, hey, Nazar, I would absolutely add this or that to this particular component of what you're talking about, and we'll go from there, okay? Let me move my screen out of the way. Okay, so this is what clients want. Like, if you were to take an inventory of what clients truly want in the transaction, is they want clarity, they want communication, and they want to feel like they're being taken care of, okay? Like, I don't know if you guys ever filed for any type of document in the court system, in your local judicial court system. It is literally like a different language. And unless you know exactly how to navigate their website, which is super clunky, like, you end up feeling like, well, shoot, I just need an attorney to do this because I don't understand, right? I'm not that I'm not smart. It's not my thing I do day to day. And so I'm just going to leave it to the expert to know how to do it. And I think a lot of people feel that way, right? They feel like, listen, I could probably sell this home myself, but I don't know the nuances of all the paperwork. I don't know how the process works. And even if I've done it in the past, it's not my day-to-day job. And therefore, I'm going to rely on an expert. And so if they don't feel like you're taking care of them, then they're going to get frustrated. And hopefully, we're able to create some things here that allow us to be able to figure that out. So the goal is to create stress-free clients, which will ultimately create more referrals and less chaos, right? And we're going to do this all through SOPs. All right. The very first thing I would say within the first 48 hours of meeting a client, now this could be a listing or a buyer, doesn't matter, is to be able to welcome them as a phone call or video text. Now, you can do this in two different ways. You can create this as a generic video text that you send out to everybody, or you take the time, you take a minute or two and create this as a video text message that's specific and unique to them. I think obviously it's a little bit more personable. Depending on how many volume of transactions you're doing, you're gonna have to decide on what makes sense for you. But the welcome call text, truly like delivering value to them, is absolutely important. Once you're done with that, like let's say you had that conversation over the phone with them and you welcome them, talk about kind of the process. The very next thing you want to do is send them a video. Now, this could be a BombBomb video, which I would hope that you guys would do. Now, that BombBomb video, again, can be a specific one-off, unique and specific to that client, which would be ideal. But again, if you're doing tons of volume, then having a BombBomb video that kind of talks about the next steps is also important. Now, obviously, you got to create two of them. You got to create one for buyers. You got to create one for sellers. But imagine just for a moment, and I know most agents don't do this because you're salespeople. You're not operational. And so when you're not an operational human being, then you don't think to do this. But imagine just for a moment, you didn't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. And so you just created a video that said, hey, this is what the next steps are. If you're a seller and you finished meeting with them and within 24 hours or even that afternoon or that evening or the next day, you send them a BombBomb video as an email saying, hey, really enjoyed meeting with you guys yesterday. And again, by saying yesterday, you're not having to specify it was in the morning, afternoon, or evening, right? You can say, meeting yesterday, here are the next steps, right? My so-and-so is going to call you for this. This is what's going to happen to reiterate the things we talked about. And you can just walk them through some of the things you may have already talked about to create conformity, to create awareness, to have them something that they can go back to and rewatch again to remind themselves. It also gives you a chance to be able to say, no, remember I told you that, it was in the video. When they have a client, or when you have a client says, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't, you never told me that. Well, I sure did. I told you twice, right? So it creates those processes for you. And then setting up communication expectations. I think it's super important to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to communicate with you in the way you want to be communicated, right? So how often do you want to be communicated? Or this is how often I'm going to communicate with you. And don't overwhelm them. Right? Like I think sometimes you can, or you take it for granted, the steps that we go through in the buying and selling process. I think it's important to be able to not say, just vomit an hour's worth of content to them, right? Do bite size, do the next week. Here's what you can look for as a buyer or a seller the next week. And obviously it could be when you first meet with a buyer and you sign a buyer repsy or buyer or broker agreement with them, you talk about what that looks like, about finding property and what the nuances are there. Or if they're under contract, what to look for and what the next steps are, what to do that following week. Those are the types of videos that you should most certainly have pre-recorded so you don't have to worry about sharing or what to do, what to think about. And that can be methodical, right? You can go on ChatGPT or obviously your experience that you have and say, what are the things that you shouldn't do? What are the things that you should do week by week? And then make those videos that can go out consistently. You could have that set up on a drip system in your CRM system. It's already dialed in. As soon as you enter contract, bam, you press a button, it's all done, right? Or on a weekly basis, you put a reminder for yourself to be able to send that specific email BombBomb video to them, okay? Now, what happens when you do these in advance? When you send these types of videos in advance, you create peace of mind because they're not wondering what's next. And if you are a busy agent, then you're not, it's not like you have time to literally discuss the same exact thing over and over and over again with every single client of yours, right? It's going to drive you nuts. And so having this is going to allow you to be able to have peace of mind. Now, again, don't break it down by weekly bite-sized pieces, and it'll be so much easier for you. So second thing, weekly communication. Again, one touch per week. This keeps you from going insane. Even if nothing changes, this applies more to sellers, but I'm telling you, like having a constant weekly update is going to be such an easy way for people to create that raving fan. Now, if a seller reaches out to you, you've already lost. You're already behind the 8 ball. Right? Do you guys agree with me? Like if sellers asks you and calls you, even if they're super nice and kind and says, hey, just looking for an update, it's been a while, then you've already lost them. Then they're already upset with you. They're frustrated with you. They might be a little angry with you. You've missed out on an opportunity. Listen, you guys, the market is the market, right? If a home sells in a week, you're like a rock star. It really didn't take much effort. But if the home takes 2 months or 3 months or 5 months to sell and you're not consistent, Like that's the difference between having an amazing client experience versus a crappy experience. And that crappy agent blames the market for that experience. They say, well, it was the market. It took 5 months to sell and it was really hard. Listen, the seller isn't naive, or if they are naive, then you educate them, but they're not stupid. They acknowledge it's hard and it takes time. They're seeing what other things are, how things are going. And so they just want communication. And if you create that system in place, I know it's difficult. I know it feels hard, but if you do it, then it creates that peace of mind for them. So they feel confident, right? They feel confident in you, that you're not leaving out to hang to dry, and that you are not, they're not having to chase you for updates. And with that, you win, right? It's absolutely critical that you win by doing that on a weekly basis, both with buyers and sellers. This could be done on an actual phone call. This could be done via BombBomb videos or via text message videos. You guys, one thing that's interesting to me is that if you don't set that expectation up front, then they create an expectation that you will either meet or not meet. And most of the time you won't meet that, right? Who's ever been angry with somebody because they didn't do what you expected them to do? Right? We all do that, right? We set these expectations that sometimes are unrealistic, or just we set up expectations because there is no boundaries or foundation set. But if I tell you, hey, I'm going to call you Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm going to give you an update. And if Wednesday, 2:00 in the afternoon, you don't pick up your phone, I'm going to leave you a video text message or a phone call or a phone message or a voice message, or I'm going to send you an email. But one way or the other, if that's our designated time, I'm going to give you some communication on that date and that time. And imagine how comforting it is when that happens. My ex-wife used to get so stressed out if her mom was 5 minutes late picking her up from school. Like she'd think that my mom left me, she's abandoned me, like she had all these childhood issues growing up because her mom would sometimes be inconsistent, and that creates instability, right? So by creating that foundation of, hey, I'm going to communicate with you this way, or ask them, how would you like to be communicated? Via text, phone call, or email? And if you know that per client, then you can then set up that the SOP for that specific client of how they want to be communicating. The cool thing is with with Follow Boss, if you guys use that CRM, you have the ability to be able to set, okay, this is going to be a text sequence of events that happen. This is going to be a phone call sequence of events that you're going to remind yourself to do, or it could be an email, right? You can create that, and it could be different for each client that you have. So one touch a week is more than adequate, unless you're like, obviously, negotiating offers and writing offers and those types of things. Obviously that changes things for that moment. Again, even if anything changes, create with them or connect with them. Your third SOP, going up above and beyond, handwritten note. Who does that? Who writes handwritten notes that you send to your clients? That's awesome. Like it's the little things, right? It's the small things that might not seem or might not take a lot of effort, but it creates that special touch, that little bit of that wow, that, oh my gosh, that was such a wonderful thing, or that was a nice little touch. And like, if you don't do the small little things, and again, that doesn't have to be what you do, but it's like figuring out for yourself what you can be consistent with and what's special to you. I know that the Colonia team, they do like a little sneaker thing that they give out, right, as a keychain. Some of you guys have your little, your little thing that makes you unique, or is your tagline or whatever it might be. Going up and above is really important to be able to do that. Small gifts along the way, right? Have you guys ever heard of the law of gift giving or the law of reciprocation? Right? So if you do something small, if you go to a listing appointment and you bring a little pot of flowers or a little succulent, or, like even a little thing that can make the home smell good, or whatever it may be, a candle, right? Is I guess what I was trying to say. Something that you give as a gift right from the very beginning, it starts the creation of the, oh, wow, I got something from this person. Then naturally they're going to want to give back. Even if they don't subconscious, or even if they don't think about it consciously, it's a subconscious thing. Okay, before we get into personal video, tell me a little bit more about what you guys do in this SOP to go up and beyond. I'd like to hear from everyone else here. What do you do that's special that people can hear?
So we do, when we go under contract, we do surprise and delight. So as soon as they go under contract, they get a video from me with a gift card to Starbucks in a link. And then right before inspection or after inspection, they just get a little something like a beach bag or something. It's not even expensive. It's just something little and beachy. And then after their inspection in the period of time inspection to closing, they get a box with a bunch of snacks and popcorn and a little Amazon gift card that is branded to us with a little movie reel. And it says something to the effect of have a movie night, relax, and it's for them to rent a movie. And then when they close, if it's a buyer and it's in this area, then we do a driftwood beachy sign with the latitude and longitude and say my happy place or something like that.
I love it. I mean, I can think about like if there's someone that is out of the area buying property in Destin, like, and you guys have beautiful sand beaches there, I'd get like a little bit of sand and put in a little bottle and send that to them saying, hey, just to remind you of how soft our sand is or something,
That's
whatever.
a good idea. I even have the little bottles to do that. That's a
Yeah.
real good idea. I like that. Lovely.
Like
Did you make that note?
I did.
it's like the small little things I think that could just give them that little edge, right? Even if it's a little cookie that's branded to you or whatever it is. Anyone else have anything fun that they do that's unique to them?
I would say we need to do more during the process. I like a lot of what you mentioned, Jess. But after I had many of the clients on Client Giant, I don't know if anybody's used them, but I would get, just text messages, posts on Facebook, messages and cards back to me just about thanking me for just remembering them all the time. And that was obviously something you're paying for every transaction, but they handle it and it goes out, at different times of the year, usually winter, summer. And they were always signed like the message was coming from me. So that's always done well.
Yep. Very good. Anyone else?
We do. I don't have so much of the loving on them, which I know I need to do more of, but we do make sure to send every single Thursday afternoon. They get a complete report that shows all of their hits on all of the websites and the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads and the YouTube video and links to their YouTube video and how many people have come through this week and how many total showings we've had, etc. So I think they call it the Don't Fire Me report, and we are very diligent about sending that, and they seem to like it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would change the title from "Don't Fire Me" to.
Well, yeah, that's what I call it myself. That's not what I call it to them.
It'd be more of like the
yeah
refer me report, right? Like something like that would keep them abreast of what's happening with the market, what's happening with their home, getting them excited that you are actually doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's the like, what else could you do? What else could you add?
Yeah, they also get a weekly video newsletter with all the market information for them.
Yeah. I love it. Anyone else do anything special as far as like any gift giving or again, like I don't know if you saw my last note, it doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be thoughtful.
Well, like we're doing our mega open house on a new listing here in Eastville. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them a gift card to the theater down the street in Eastville. So during our open house, they can go catch a matinee because she's got $2 to kids when I want to catch a movie.
Oh, you're talking about like your actual client. That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Like go watch a movie while we're working and getting your home sold. I love that. Anyone else?
Speaking of not expensive and sort of fun, well, I guess some people think it's fun, some don't, but we got, since we have a sand dollar on our logo, we got molds, like white chocolate molds, and we do a white chocolate, either sand dollar lollipop, or we put them in like sand. So we break up, what are those crackers? I can't think of the crackers.
Like vanilla wafers?
No, but
Graham crackers?
Graham crackers. Yes, graham crackers. And we put a little sugar in there so it looks like the little white chocolate sand dollars are in sand. And I think it's fun when we do them like as a team building event because we have like a little assembly line. There's mixed feelings on that.
Okay, very good. So I want you to continue thinking about like what is the thing that you can do that's specific and unique to you. Remember, throughout this whole thing, these are SOPs. This is something that you're not just doing once. This is something you're going to do twice. This is something that you're creating a process that becomes what you do, and it becomes who you are, and it becomes your brand. Let me reiterate that. When you go to a specific restaurant, you expect bread to be there. Hot, nice bread with some butter, right? If you went to that restaurant that never give you that butter and the bread, what would you say? Where's your bread? I want more of it. If you go to a Mexican restaurant, you expect some chips and salsa, right? There's some consistency, continuity. And so if you went to a salsa or went to a Mexican restaurant, not only did they give you chips and salsa, but they brought you some queso. Or they brought you something else. Like, have you ever guys been to a restaurant? Like, I've been to a sushi restaurant where I sat down and they took my drink order, and then without even ordering anything, they came and they gave us a roll, a sushi roll. Not paying for it, they just gave us one just to try it. Like, I was like, whoa, that's cool. Unexpected, a nice, pleasant surprise. They got me to order more and then come back again. So what do you need to do to create that special surprise? When I would show property back in the day, sometimes I'd be with them for 3-4 hours. It was exhausting for them and for me. And who's ever been in a position where you've gotten hangry? Yeah. I say hangry, but like if you haven't eaten for 3-4 hours and your glucose level drops, you get lethargic and tired, foggy in the brain, and it sucks. So having cold water, sparkling or still, or whatever, some treats, and presenting that to them when they get in your car so you can go to the next house, like it's just something that makes you different. It takes you away from being a door opener to having it be a wonderful experience. Right? Now, if you're showing properties to someone that is a multi-millionaire and is buying a $2, $3, $4, $5 million house, that might be champagne, right? You might be renting a nice limo to take them from point A to point B to point C, right? You can elevate the experience. But if you've got properties that are 150,000, 200,000, whatever that price range is, like you accommodate accordingly to your clientele, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to do it if it's a lower price point. You can still wow them. And in fact, if you wow somebody and give them something that's special that they wouldn't even otherwise expect because the price point's low, then that becomes even your biggest advocate, right? They're like, holy crud, looking at properties with Lauren was so much more enjoyable, so much more thoughtful than it would be with, whomever. Okay, now let's talk about the fourth SOP, and that's the closing experience. Setting up clear expectations, you guys. Like, it can be super, super stressful in buying the property. And if the lender that they're working with isn't great and doesn't walk them through some of the things like don't buy a car, don't buy the washer and dryer and the refrigerator, don't buy the fancy clothes you're going to put in your nice new walk-in closet, don't do this or do it. And even if it's, hey, remember to pay your bills. Know that your FICO score is going to have a drastic impact on your interest rate, right? Having those types of conversations, and it doesn't have to be something you're doing over and over and over again. It could be simple, easy. It could be fun. And in fact, you could even like get on, captions or whatever and create an avatar of yourself. So it's your voice and your face speaking it, and then get ChatGPT to say, what are the things that you shouldn't do or the things that you should do? upload that in there, get that video, put it on BombBomb, send it to them, so you know they watched it, how long they watched it, and you can get that in little bite-sized segment pieces based on what you're saying or what you should do, and you can make a library for them to go back and review, right? Like, we're creating processes that will make you an amazing agent, save you time, and create a raving fan. That's what the whole experience is about. So you got a client, took them through the process, closing day happens. This is such an anticlimactic experience. Who's ever had this, your client, where like, and that's it? Like, we're done? Because you made them, the lenders made them like chase a million documents. They've had to do a home inspection and an appraisal and stress about that, stress about all the things, like, and then in their head, they're thinking a million scenarios in which it can go wrong and they don't end up getting the house, like so many stressful experiences. Finally closes, and they're like, okay, now what? Like, okay, well, I'm going to give you the key and you're done. Or if you've been guilty like me of this experience, I'm like, the key is under the doormat. Congratulations. Talk to you later. Yeah, don't be like me and do that. Like, make it a fun experience, right? Throw them the housewarming party. Do the, like the balloons and the whatever at the door. Get their kids to come, video the experience, like make it fun and make it an actually a climatic experience. Make it something that they remember. And by doing it, again, it's going to create that raving fan. It's going to create a touch point that they can remember and draw back that experience to. Now, again, you also be able to create that and spell things out, like I said in video, right? Like just do it. Like it's super important. It's easy to do. It's a pain in the butt to do, but once you do it once, you can kind of set it and let it do its thing over and over again. Okay, post follow-up, don't abandon your client. Don't abandon them. First week, it's chaotic and hectic. They might not give you the attention or appreciation that you deserve because they're literally in, like, turning the utilities on, cleaning the house, moving their stuff. Like, you guys, last time you've moved, you know how horrible the experience is. It's so expensive and a pain in the butt to do. And you're like, okay, we got to furnish this place and buying stuff. There's just lots of stuff going on. And so what could you do during that process to knowing that is going to be all the things that are in their head? What could you do? Could you say, hey, I know that this week's going to be chaotic. I'm having dinner delivered to you this Wednesday night at 6:00. Or do you guys prefer dinner at 6 or at 5 or 7 or whatever time they get home? Have dinner sent to them. You don't have to do it every single day of that week. Just say, hey, I know it's going to be chaotic this week. I'd love to be able to send you dinner one of the days of the week. Which day works best for you and what time works best for you? And from these 3 restaurants, what would you prefer? Right? Again, it's the small little touch that can make them say, oh my gosh, like, it was super stressful. We're busy unpacking. And that was super kind that our agent sent us dinner. If you're at a lower price point, it's going to be Little Caesar's pizza and a bottle of soda, right? That's okay too. If it's super high end, you guys can, based on your clientele, elevate that experience or the value, if you will, based on what they're used to. Okay, week goes by, then a month happens. This is when they settle down. What could you do wow with them? What do you guys think? What could we wow them within the first month of them settling in?
Just a phone call. Make sure they know how their home warranty works. Make sure everything's going okay.
Yeah, a home warranty is a phenomenal one. Most home warranty companies that I'm aware of that are national ones offer rekeying for free. Did you guys know that? They'll rekey the house for them for free. They will offer a one-time pest spray. So they'll spray for bugs one time. Some of them offer, tune-ups or whatever it is. Or you can say, hey, just so you know, reminder that if things do break down, you have a home warranty that's going to mitigate some of that cost for you. The water heater, whatever it is, like, just remind them of that. What else can we do? It's been a month.
Maybe provide them with events that are going to be happening in their neighborhood, so they can get to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's easy information to get and to provide to them. What else?
Maybe a gift card to a local restaurant and, that they can go and have dinner and.
Yeah. Like if they're new to the area, you can say, hey, this is my favorite place. Like, it's my favorite restaurant. Their yada, yada, yada is super amazing. Their cocktail is awesome, like whatever. And a gift card to that would be phenomenal. Yep. What else?
People always love when you love on their kids. I will say that, or their pets too.
Absolutely. Knowing their names, both their pets and their children, and maybe dropping something off for them. You bet. It's a great thing. What else? This silence tells me that we're not doing anything.
When you're showing, you can take, for kids, take coloring books and crayons with you and
Yep.
ask the kids to, draw a picture of the house or.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we're
I've
talking
also
about.
taken iPads with them,
Mm.
old iPads with movies on them that they can just hand to the kids in the car where we go from house to house.
Yeah, usually parents have those, but still, yes, anything that you can do to be able to create that experience. I'm talking about one month after we close now. Like, what specifically could we do a month after they close? Have they already forgotten about you, or have you forgotten about them?
If it's a couple, you can also like give them a gift card or buy them a night out so they can celebrate the final settling experience.
Okay. What else?
Just thinking, I don't do this, but it would be great after somebody's moved in. They're pretty darn tired. They're exhausted. What if you sent them, a card and a gift card to like have a couples massage or something, or an individual at a local spa or something, to relax.
It's a good idea. I don't have all the answers. What I'm seeing though in the lack of response is that you guys don't have things that are creating raving fans after a month out, or an SOP that does it.
And Nazar, I personally tried to set up around that time frame to set up a time to come see the property, assuming it's like a buyer or local repurchase.
Yep. Another thing you guys probably don't do that you might consider adding as a SOP is if you represented the seller in the transaction and they moved away. Now go adopt that client that bought the home. You can bring them a plant saying, congratulations on moving into the neighborhood. I'm the local expert. I sold this house. You have any questions about the community, about what's going on here? Here's some helpful phone numbers for you. Here's some helpful this or that. That could be done the first week of it closing. Remember, the agency relationship ends when escrow closes. So when escrow closes, that client, the buyer that you do not represent, is now fair game. You can go and just say, hey, congratulations on buying my client's house. Here's my information. Welcome to the neighborhood, with a little pot. You can do that easily as well.
One of my favorite things that Lindsay Calkins does, and I think she said it one time on one of these calls, but in case you haven't heard, if she sold a house and even if it's not her buyers, she'll go around the neighborhood with balloons, and she's got a big like poster board, and she asks all the neighbors to say, welcome to the neighborhood, knocks on their doors, and then she presents the buyers of the house, this big card and balloons for buying. I think that is so fabulous.
That is fun. I used to know of an agent. I never did this, but I knew of an agent that was really successful in creating more listing opportunities. Is that when he would sell a home, he would do a going away party with all their neighbors. He would host a party like 2 weeks, 3 weeks into escrow where they knew that it was going to close. And before the chaos of moving, he would say, hey, can we throw like a little host party where you can say goodbye to all their neighbors? If you live in an area like, maybe in California where no one knows their neighbor, then maybe it's not as relevant. They're not going to want them inside their house. But if you're in an area, maybe Texas or other parts of the country where you do know your neighbors and you'd like them, then yeah, maybe this is a good way for you to be able to invite them. And they're like, guess what? The whole time they're gonna be like, yeah, my realtor did a great job. Realtor. And you can correct them, or maybe you don't know how to say it right. But it's a great chance to be able to meet everybody, and they can say, yeah, you sold this house for how much? How quickly? That's awesome. I'm actually thinking about selling my house. And so again, this is stuff that you can't just like be like, oh yeah, it's a good idea, and then like not do it. You have to say, these are the systems I'm going to put into place, and this is what I'm going to do. Okay. And then again, then it goes to 3 months, right? This is a prime time for referrals. Say, hey, you've been here for 3 months. How's it going? Like anything you have, any questions you have, super excited that I can't believe 3 months has already gone by. Hey, is there anybody, any family or friends that you have that might enjoy moving to this neighborhood? And then connect with them that way. Again, another pop by that you can do at that point in time that allows you to be able to make that connection. And of course, then every single year after that, on an anniversary, don't lose your client, right? Don't lose it to somebody else. Go to their home, make the effort. Say, hey, is this house still working for you? Are you still enjoying it? Are you still loving this home? If you can change anything, what would it be? If it makes more sense to not change it and to go buy another home, would you want to do that? You want to explore that option? Would you want to buy an investment property? Right? Those types of things. Okay, 6-1 is asking for that referral. You can say know anyone that's looking to buy or sell, I'd love to help them. Another way of asking this is, which of your friends and family members do you feel are most likely to move in the next 6 to 12 months? Who's most likely to move? The second way of asking this question elicits more thought instead of just saying, hey, do you know anybody? Because the knee-jerk reaction is to say no. But if you ask them which one of your friends and family, then they might be like, well, cousin Betty's actually getting a divorce, or, like whatever the situation is. Okay. So asking for the referrals. If you don't ask, you don't get. I'm buying a home right now. I'm buying a couple of houses, but one of the homes I'm buying, I negotiated the price down really low, which was pretty exciting. And then when it's all said and done, I told the listing agent, I'm like, hey, I want a washer, dryer, refrigerator to be included in the house because it's a brand new home. And they're like, yeah, they probably won't do that. I'm like, oh, doesn't hurt to ask. So wrote the offer with asking those things. The builder just signed it. And then within 3 days, washer and dryer, refrigerator in that home already, which I was pretty impressed by. Like, you will never, the answer will always be no if you don't ask. The answer may be yes if you do ask. Don't be afraid to ask. So the system, the first 48 hours are critical in making an impression on that person. Weekly communication for buyers, for sellers is critical. If you don't have that down, you're going to lose them. Personal touches. Make it a fun experience along the way. Make sure that you have, what they like. You could have an intake form that you have them fill out of what their favorite, wine is, or what their favorite drink is, or what their favorite meal is, or what their favorite color is, or what their birthday is and their anniversary. You can get simple forms like that make it easier for them to fill out, and you can get that information, put in your CRM system so they remind you of their birthday, their anniversary of their wedding, their anniversary of their home purchase. All those things could be in your database. That becomes a gold mine when you have information. If you guys have heard of garbage in, garbage out, have you heard of that statement before? If you've got nothing there, or it's just wrong information, it's going to give you garbage. But if you put in awesome information and it's robust, that becomes gold. That becomes your source of perpetual, predictable income. And then the strong closing, right? Making it a big experience, not just, hey, congratulations, here's the keys, have a great day, talk to you never. The week, the month, the 3-month, annual anniversary, those are the times where you can touch them. And of course, up and above that, you can touch them at different points, different holidays and things like that. We're not going to get into that. We're focusing more on the things we talked about today. And the follow-up, just consistently connecting with them and not losing them. Listen, you guys, you don't have to be best friends with all of your clients. You don't have to be best friends with them. No one's asking. They're not asking you to. I mean, if you guys hit it off and you guys vibe well, cool. But if you don't, that doesn't mean that you don't have to stay in touch with them, because you could just be that resourceful person that says, "Hey, are you okay?" Like, heck, even doctors' offices will call and will say, "Hey, it's time for your annual physical. You want to get that scheduled?" Right? Some of us get that.
I just had another idea that I remember I used to do, and I should do it again. You know those big car bows you can get from Amazon? They're pretty cheap. The big red bows that people buy to put on a car that they're delivering. Yeah. And you can just put that like on the front door of the house or across your for sale sign with the sold on it when they come to meet you there to get the keys. And then you've got, champagne or whatever your closing gift is too. And it like really elevates it. So.
Yep. A lot of new construction builders will put a big old fat bow across the whole garage. Like, there's lots of different things that you can do to be able to make it a wow experience. And remember, like, these are all moments that also should be recorded, videoed, and shared on social media. All of you guys on this call, I don't know any one of you that are crushing it on social media with your presence. Jessica?
Yes.
Haven't seen you on social ever.
I know. I know.
You live in a gorgeous, absolutely beautiful town. And why in the living God's earth do you not post videos of those beautiful views of the townhomes and are not doing that every single day of your life is beyond me.
So I just had my.
I would love to hear all of your excuses, but I don't.
No excuse. But my coach says the same thing, and I am accountable to her, especially after Aaron Chua's thing. We had a call with him last night as well. So you're about to see me, whether I like it or not.
Good. Listen, you guys. Like, it doesn't. It's like it doesn't. You're not looking for perfection. You're looking for done.
I think John and Tammy do a good job.
They do a great job. I'm not throwing them under the bus. You don't see me calling them out, calling you out.
Just me.
So just the last point is Raving fans are created through consistency, not talent. And I know that sounds, hard to say, but it's the truth, right? Like, it's the consistency of doing it over and over and again and making it, rhythm, like just regular rhythm of the frequency could be whatever it is, but it's all about making sure that you deliver a value so when someone says, "Oh, Bob Jones is my real estate agent," then they can know what they can even say, "Oh, when you buy a home through Bob, this is what he does for you." He's going to blow you away by what he does. Like he did this or that or whatever it is. Right? It's about leveling up our experience for our customers so that we can create those raving fans. We can get those consistent feedback, the consistent referral business that will allow us to be able to have a better quality of life that we all want. Okay. I know we've run a little over. Any last minute thoughts, questions, concerns you guys have?
Good call. Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Have an amazing week. If you need me, reach out to me. Otherwise, we'll talk to you guys next Thursday at our next masterclass. See ya.